Welcome to OT Legal TV, your legal hub that gives legal perspectives on the news from around the world. And today we are going to discuss and give a perspective on the conflict in Ethiopia right now. This conflict involves the national government led by Abiy Ahmed against the Tigray nation that is in Ethiopia, and then mostly northern Ethiopia. So we want to give our perspective, and on the basis that multinationalism is the reason why we have conflicts in Africa, and there is a need to educate people about the multinational or multicultural nature of Africa to stave and reduce such conflicts. So people will be like, wow, this is a very interesting discussion. Yes, that's what we are saying. It will be very interesting. So let's have a recap or summary of what's happening in Ethiopia. Yes. So the conflict in Ethiopia began or has its roots in 2018 when the Tigray-dominated government was toppled. And it was toppled when Abiy Ahmed became the prime minister in April 2018, making him the first ever from the Oromo ethnic group to be the prime minister. And the Oromo happened to be the largest group, so they are 30% of the population, and whereas the Tigrayans are 6% of Ethiopia's population. Now, once Abiy took power, the Tigrayans lost their cabinet posts and their military posts. And so what has happened now, the other tribes, they felt marginalized under when the Tigrays were in power. That includes the Amharas, which I think they make up 20% of Ethiopia's population. So what has been happening is many of these nations or tribes, they call them tribes, but it's an anomaly. Every tribe is a nation. Rather, a tribe is a small unit of a nation. Yes, I believe when you pass 1 million, you are a nation. Yes, I would call you a nation. So all of them are past 1 million, so they are nations. So we're talking about how all of these nations now, when a nation has 1 million people, yes, there will be a sense of looking for autonomy, self-rule. Yes, there'll be a desire because you're many, yes, and then you end up having a desire to have your own economy as a nation. Because especially when there is discrimination in the nation. So the Tigrays defied Abiy when they were told not to protest because of coronavirus, and they went on doing their own elections, because they have their area. And the Addis Ababa government branded the Tigray government unlawful, while Tigrayan leaders no longer recognize Abiy's administration. So what happened? They slashed funds to the Tigray region, and the Tigrayans called that an act of war. And then Abiy ordered a military response on Tigray, and then there was an attack on the government camps, and the Tigray denied responsibility. And then Abiy now chose to sack the remaining Tigrayans in the military, as they were like flashing them out, and then so airstrikes have been carried out on Tigray, with Abiy promising the end of the conflict. Now, many refugees have run to Sudan, and African Union together with UN have called the end to the fighting. And so, UN is also calling for an inquiry into the war crimes in the region. And Tigray also fired missiles at 2 airports, and that they say they are being used by Ethiopia. And now the war has also spread into Eritrea. It's about to spread there because some rocket strikes have hit Asmara's airport. Okay, so that's what's happening right now in Ethiopia. So as we've said, this is because of multinationalism. There's a situation where there are many nations living in one nation. Yeah, and that's what has happened to many countries. That includes even countries like Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda. Yeah, very many. In fact, most of Africa is multinational. And when the Europeans came, yes, they found very many nations, and they, in response, the aim of the European was not to come and make nations. Yeah, it was not to give us governments. Yes, it was just to take resources. Yeah, and then now when getting resources was the getting resources also took a long time. Yes, they were now forced. Yeah, they had to put government systems. So most of the governments in Africa, if not all, are colonial companies. Yeah, it's just like Coca-Cola, Motorola coming and setting up a plant. Yeah, that's all they are, the colonial governments. And when they left Africa, yes, they left that system that was an uncaring system. It doesn't care about the people. Yes, it's just to steal, you know. Yeah, so you'll find many African governments inherited that that mentality. Yes, you know, law is spiritual, so they have taken up that spirit of also stealing. So you'll find in some countries, if not all of them in Africa, they have quite a high rate of corruption. It's because the inheritance, yeah, the legacy of the governments they work in, yeah, they are not wired to take care of the people. They are not democratic governments. I always tell people that there is no democracy that colonized Africa. They were all monarchies. You see, yeah, and even Russia supported Africa's to get independence because of that reasoning. Because Russia was also ruled by a monarchy. Yes, and through Marxism, they abolished the monarchical system. But what's ironic, they have gone back to it again. Yes, even in fact, the history of politics in the world is that people will always fall back to monarchy. All right, so that's Ethiopia in a nutshell. And what are our solutions to what is happening there, the multinationalism, not only in Ethiopia but everywhere in the world? Number one, education. Education is very important to educate people about different cultures. Yeah, there's a real need for people to understand every culture that lives around them. This is done through not only education in school, but education on TV, the media, the radio, the internet. You see, all those are mediums of education, including movies, yes, including songs. Yeah, they are all mediums of education. Yeah, including newspapers. Yeah, you should have articles talking about different cultures and what they believe in and who they are. Yes, it will encourage people to live in peace and in tolerance of each other. I was seeing on Al Jazeera, a very important show, I like it very much, Listening Post by Richard Gisbert, and he was asking what's going to be the job of the media in a world where now, like in America, politics is really changing. And I said in my mind that the media is now going to become more educative. Yeah, more educating people about different cultures, different political opinions, yeah, so that people can understand. Yeah, it will be like the world will become a big classroom, and that's the type of media I'm pushing for right now. Yeah, the current media is one of is a click and bait. Yeah, all of these political power struggles. Yes, I tit for tat media. Yes, where people fight each other. Yeah, they hate you, so they besmirch you, and that's the media today. Look at Fox News. Immediately they started um, giving pro-Biden news. Yeah, they have really suffered in their ratings. Yeah, people are leaving them. Reason? They have decided to speak the truth. They have decided to tell Americans, the right wing fans, yeah, that this is what we are going to report. We're going to report what's happening. And they have accepted that Biden is the president, you see, so president elect, yeah, of course. So now, you see, the media, what the Fox News fans are telling you, yeah, they were watching Fox News because they were giving them what they wanted. Yeah, they wanted to hear. Of course, we don't want to go into America because it's a legal issue right now. But basically, you're seeing multinationalism is cured by education. Yes. Number two, it's multinationalism is cured by setting up inclusive government and representative democracy, where people um, you make sure every culture is represented in parliament. Yeah, every culture, even if it means a cultural members vote for their leader. Yes, and that's how they come to parliament. It's better than that. And I'm also looking at one party system. I think it's a very good system. You can have diverse cultures in one party. Yes, we're going to look at that one time in another session. So that's what you could do in a multinational situation. And then a multinational situation, of course, you also have forums, yeah, and conventions, meetings, encouraging different groups to meet each other and discuss their differences. Yes, I also suggested this to France, yes, concerning the decapitation of a woman in the church. I told the French society that they need to sit down and have debates, yes, the secularist, the Muslim, and the Christian, to discuss their differences, what their views are about different topics in life. You see, so that they understand that people have different views, yes, and different perspectives. Because if they don't do that, they will end up into a conflagration of war. Yes, multicultural war. Yeah, so we are encouraging them to have debates. We are also encouraging them to have restaurants where they can discuss their religions. Yeah, TV time should be for those discussions. Yeah, every week you have all of them seated discussing marriage, for example. Next week, society. Then the third week, raising children. How does a secularist raise a child? How does a Muslim raise a child? How does a Christian raise a child? And then to find commonalities and differences, and then what would be like an ideal situation, or what should we say? Should we, of course, we should accept all types of parenting, yes, but understand they are different, yeah, and hear each other. So we need that. There is an old saying by the Kikuyu of Africa, the Kikuyu nation in Africa, that discussions breed love, and we're encouraging that for every nation that is very multinational. As I've told you, Africa has many countries where they have more than 20 nations living in one nation. So you can see how many governments, 20 governments in one nation. That's chaos. You see. And then the reason why I'm saying 20 governments, all of those nations have their own language. Yeah, and America is very multinational, but they have one language called English. Yeah, so they don't necessarily have one government per se. They may have two governments because of Democrats and Republicans, but they don't have over 50 governments, because all the nations in America speak one language called English. And of course now Spanish is being touted to be a second language. And in Africa, you'll find a country has 60 nations, you see, or 60 tribes, because some of them have less than 1 million people. Yes, and they speak 60 different languages. So you can see managing them is very hard. Yes, and then now when politics comes, voting, most of the majority tribes get power. You see? Yeah. And then they get power and they get rich, and then the minorities are poor. Yes, so they're excluded out of power. They can't even climb a ladder. They can't even own businesses. Yeah, these others get more money and they become richer and richer. So there ends up being an inequality gap. You see? And then next thing you know, conflict, violence, and all of that. So we encourage discussions, and also those I'm talking about representative democracy. Yes, where every culture must be in the sanctums of power. Every nation must be there. And that one doesn't mean having voting the majority winner. No. Yes, you are a nation, you will be in parliament. And there is no need of political party. Just have your election in your culture, and that person is coming to represent you in parliament. Cool. So basically those are the three solutions we have for multinationalism. We can recap. Number one, we've said education, yes, which is multifaceted from early childhood to late adulthood, and that means even including television, cinema, songs, radio, magazines, yes, talking about our different cultures. And then number two, we have said that the other way to encourage to reduce multinational conflict is to have the representative democracy. And then number three, we have said to also have what is called the discussions, meetings, the multicultural meetings, multicultural conventions, so that people can understand each other and discuss about each other. Okay, thank you so much. Let's hope for the best in Ethiopia, that the war will end immediately, and that the war crimes being committed there will cease. Yes, the war, it's just a war. I know people will jump their gun. Yes, but it depends on how many people have died. Yeah, war crimes mostly they have a threshold. Yeah, so we'll wait and see. But I believe there will be peace, because basically right now, as a world, we know why people go to war. Yes, it is because of differences. Yeah, you have a different culture from mine, so let's fight. It's like animals. Yeah, the ecosystem is the best description, is the best display of war, because lions forever eat their fellow animals. Yeah, you see, yes, it's like a tigre forever fighting an oromo. And why do lions do that? They don't know. Yes, they have no cognitive ability like a human. A human has cognitive ability to know that an oromo is also a human being, so he can't attack him. Remember, even humans were cannibals. Yeah, we were eating each other. Yes, but we stopped because we started understanding, yes, that when you eat another human, he dies. Yes, and then getting him is even a problem. He may fight you. Yeah, so we had to change our diet, and we started eating plants and started eating animals we can kill. Yeah, so that's what we have to understand about life. Yeah, we have to understand that we fight because of differences and also getting something from someone. Yes, that's why we fight. Yeah, we want to get money, want to get land. So this guy has the land and money and he can't give it to us, so we fight them. So that's why we do it. It's just, have you seen animals? As I told you, the lion wants the gazelle's body. Yes, so it goes for it and tears it apart. Yeah, so the human wants your land. Yeah, so he fights you and kills you so they can get the land. See? And then there's the other fighting I've told you of differences. Yeah, because you're different from me, I fight you. Yes, yeah. I don't like you for your difference. Yeah, you're a threat. Yeah, so I kill you. Yes, you're weird to me. I kill you. You see? So that's what is that's the base of conflict. So now that you know the differences are like that, how do you save them? As we told you, education. Understand someone's differences. Yes, the reason why they are there. Yeah. And once you do that, you will not kill them. And there will only be peace in the world because you'll understand this person is black because of melanin, not because of a curse. There are people who believe in the Hamitic theory and they believe black people were cursed by Noah. Yes, that's why they are black. But that's not the truth. It is the sun, yeah, that made black skin or even white skin to produce melanin. Alright? So that is sorted by education. Yes. Understanding differences is sorted by education. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.